Project Shadow was initiated nearly a decade ago.
Good evening. As promised, we're going to convene promptly at 5 o'clock.
Since then, we have sent hundreds of students to all kinds of companies.
I'm going to have you listen on that call with me.
Places like Dominion.
She started to develop that talent, so you got to really focus on that.
SunTrust.
So what type of things will he do?
Bank of America.
Many of our clients find themselves in a great place.
Shameen Hotels.
You can see Maymont over there.
Students have an opportunity to interface with leaders in their industry, and they do it in a very hands-on, experiential way.
Good morning, Destiny. How are you doing? As a dean, I make sure that we prepare the students for the locations they are going to. They need to understand the company. You want to ask the question, what kind of internship opportunities are available now? And also, how to be able to portray themselves when they get there.
This is about taking the classroom and getting students outside of traditional academia.
Destiny, welcome to Richmond Raceway. Thanks.
This year we had an opportunity to send students like Destiny Woods to Richmond Raceway.
Feel free to ask me any questions you have.
When I first got to the Richmond Raceway, I was greeted by Jackie Frame, who is the executive assistant to Dennis Bickmeyer. One of the cool things was she put me in a pace car, which I've never been in before, and we went down to the track.
It's quite an orchestrated event.
We first visited the Tour Club, which overlooks the infield of the track and all of the grandstands.
What you're looking at right now is a $30 million Richmond Reimagined project.
And I got to see the entire track and then the whole skyline of downtown Richmond.
We talked a little bit about what it means to populate the infield on a NASCAR race weekend.
We'll have to get you out here on a race weekend.
So after Jackie concluded our tour, we went down to the track, and that's where I was greeted by the president, Dennis Bickmeyer.
Good to see you. Welcome.
He concluded the facility tour that we started together.
The scoreboard that we have here, I think, is one of the best in all of sports.
We love working with Virginia State University, and it's really been a two-way street. We've had some interns here. They've done some project work for us. We've gone down there to teach.
Being a good entrepreneur, you got to be a good negotiator as well.
You know, our next great sports administrators could come right out of Virginia State University. So that's why it's important for us to have a relationship with a university like that that's trying to produce, you know, with a very business approach, the next sports administrators that are, whether they can work in motorsports or Major League Baseball or the NFL, it doesn't matter, but the business of sport continues to grow, and it's a massive, massive business. So I talked about immersing the fans back into the heart of the sport and actually getting them closer than they've ever been before. So what we're walking on is what we call the fan viewing walkway. Well, it was great to have Destiny join us here at Richmond Raceway so she could kind of get immersed in what we do and see it firsthand.
What was cool was that the fact that they allow for their fans to go inside of those garages right there up and close and personal with the drivers and their team.
But even some of the drivers came over and signed autographs, and yeah. So one of the areas that Destiny got to experience, it was our new garage area and our fan viewing walkway. And I'll tell you, when we went back and sat down and designed what we wanted in that infield, we sat down with the mindset of we wanted to immerse our fans right back into the heart of the sport. Well, the heart of the sport is right there in the garage. That's where the teams are working on the cars. That's where the drivers are meeting with their teams and their engineers to strategize about the race. And fans have never had that kind of access.
They broke ground because they're the first to allow for fans to actually come down and interact with the race drivers and their team.
This is the start-finish line. So this is where obviously they drop the green flag right up there.
And then I was able to actually walk onto the track and stand on the start and finish line.
So that's where we crown our winner, and that's where you can see some of the burnouts here on the racetrack.
Standing on there, I was able to see the different skid marks that the previous race drivers were making.
Yeah, I think the ability to walk out on the track is not something that a lot of people get to do.
I cannot believe I'm standing right here in the middle of the Richmond Raceway. This is beautiful.
I think to have that experience and understanding that, you know, the racetrack, again, that's the highlight of, that's the central part of the racing event. 40 cars screaming around a 3/4 mile racetrack.
And then he actually gave me a ride around the track with the pace car. That's when he showed me how to do the weaving from the yellow line back weaving out towards the outside.
Ideally, you like to be down as close to this yellow line as possible.
He said, don't drive like this, because you could see where some of the drivers would actually hit the wall.
But for us on a quiet, morning to be able to walk and talk about, the banking of the racetrack.
The turns are banked about 14 degrees, so
how the drivers drive the racetrack.
one of the things that happens when you see these red and white stripes here is you can get a feel for how fast the race car is going. They're zooming right by these stripes.
You got to see a little bit of that today, just minus the 40 cars screaming around us. Let's take a look around the office. I think the opportunity for Destiny and I to walk around the office and meet some of our team, I think is invaluable, because she's hearing it from the folks who are on the front lines.
You look at some of our trophies back here. Toyota is one of our top accounts.
I got to speak with the business development team.
We're the revenue source for the track.
I'm a business major, so that interests me.
And these guys, this is our marketing department.
Hi, Destiny.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
It's about a team. There's 37 individuals that go across our org chart, but we're not successful if the team doesn't work. And that's really what we wanted to try and show her today as well. This is our ticketing team.
Then I also got to speak with the ticket sales.
Part of our strategy was to bring it back in-house. So
the one good thing here is it's got to be a very collaborative effort for this to succeed. They're promoting our events.
Me and Mr. Bigmeyer went back to his office and we sat down, and he gave me a lot of great advice.
Keep an open mind about what's ahead of you.
When we had to sit down and talk one-on-one, one of the things I really wanted to make sure that I impressed upon Destiny is use this last year of school very wisely.
One thing I always tell students too, while you're in school, what are those opportunities to gain practical experience? So
that's what's going to help build the resume. That's what's going to help when you go out for a job interview, get your resume to the top.
Spending the day with the president was definitely life-changing.
So I like that reaction. So
the fact of how genuine.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Mr. Bigmeyer and his entire staff showed me how I want to run my businesses and how the type of environment that I want and culture.
Fans have their side of
Everyone there was so genuinely nice.
Most of our relationships.
And they honestly just wanted the best for their fans and within their company.